Our Shalom Israel. Um, Today we're going to be talking about Israel being in power and us ruling over our oppressors and what we'll be allowed to do and what we'll not be allowed to do. Because the time is coming where our oppression will be over. Our oppression will be over, which will mean we will have no oppressor. You understand? So I want to look at the scripture that inspired this lesson. If I could, I want to go to Isaiah 14 and 1. Isaiah 14 and 1. Right? Isaiah 14 and 1. And it reads, "For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob." It says, "For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land." Is because black people, Hispanic people, and Native American people, the reason why we're going to be set in our own land as a future prophecy is because what? We're not in our homeland now. You understand? And it says, "And the strangers shall be joined with them." Who are the strangers? These strangers are the other nations, right? How will they be joined with us? They shall cleave to the house of Jacob. The house of Jacob being the 12 tribes of Israel. And the people, the children of Jacob, or the children of Israel, the house of Jacob, shall take them, the them being the strangers who cleave to the house of Jacob, and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. And it shall come to pass in the day that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow and from thy fear and from the hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve. This is a prophecy of the future, because for so many years, black people, Hispanic people, and Native American people have been slaves, have been captives. Going back to the siege of Jerusalem under the general Vespasian and his son Titus during 70 AD, 68, 67 to 70 AD, right? Black people had to flee from Israel, their homeland, and we ain't seen it since. We haven't seen our homeland. We haven't lived in our homeland, the land that flows with milk and honey, the land that Moses introduced us to during the time of Deuteronomy. You see, we've been in another land that's not ours. You see, and then even before um, General Vespasian and the Romans, you had to deal with the Greeks and Antiochus and the Maccabean revolt in that period of time, right? And before the Greeks, we had to deal with the Persians. Before the Persians, we had to deal with the Babylonians. Before the Babylonians, we always had to deal with being oppressed, namely because of our disobedience to the Most High. But nonetheless, we haven't been in our own land. We've been oppressed. We've been slaves. We've been captives. You understand that? You are not, listen, you got Negroes and Hispanics who are proud Americans. Proud. I'm talking about, you just think you're just so high and mighty. Listen here. The Most High is going to destroy this place. The Most High said that he is going to deliver. Let me get that. I don't know how that written down. This is Micah. Nahum, which would mean Micah is before Nahum. Uh, Let me see. This is Micah. Bear with me. I'm gonna read. There's two in Micah that I want, but I'm gonna read this one first. Micah 4:6. And that day, saith the Lord, will I assemble her that halteth, and I will gather her that is driven out, and her that I have afflicted. This is talking about his people, Israel, who oftentimes is referred to figuratively or metaphorically as a her. Verse 7. And I will make her that halted a remnant, and her that was cast far off a strong nation. And the Lord shall reign over them in Mount Zion from henceforth, even forever. And thou, O tower of the flock, the stronghold of the daughter of Zion, unto thee shall it come, even the first dominion. Right? That ties into the topic. Even the first dominion. You see? It says, the kingdom shall come to the daughter of Jerusalem. Verse 10, this is my point. Be in pain and labor to bring forth, O daughter of Zion, the children of Israel, like a woman in travail, right? For now shalt thou go forth out of the city, and thou shalt dwell in the field, and thou shalt go even to Babylon, which is where we are now. America is modern day Babylon. There shalt thou be delivered. There the Lord shall redeem thee from the hand of thine enemies. The Lord didn't say book a flight to a distant nation and that's your salvation. Our salvation is going to be a act of God. Just like Moses lifting his staff and the Red Sea stood as a heap on each side, that was an act of God. It's going to be an absolute act of God when those chariots cover the sky and you start seeing the people who were oppressed be saved simultaneously as bombs drop, as bombs drop, as building as buildings get destroyed, as freeways get destroyed. You understand? As famous cities such as Times Square, Hollywood get destroyed, Vegas. You see? That's what you have to look forward to. But you have to be someone who labors to bring that forth. You understand? And with that labor comes a reward. You see? Christ gave us a penny, and our job is to so you can understand is to flip that penny. You understand? But now, going back to my point, the children of Israel will be in their homeland and they will rule, as we just read in Micah. It will they will have dominion. You see? And as we read in Isaiah, we read that the children of Israel who were oppressed, which would mean they have an oppressor oppressing them, will now rule over those people who oppress them. Now, to the picture to your right is an image of the oppressor oppressing. You see? Back in the days, talking about the 1600s, right? Just to go briefly into some of the horrible things that they used to do to the children of Israel. And I'm talking about our oppressor. He, for one, had us on auction and blocks. All of these things are mentioned in the Bible. There were curses, there were punishments, but the oppressor took it too far. The so-called white man, Esau in the Bible, the Edomites, oppressed the children of Israel. How? Slavery, hardcore slavery. Maybe the worst slavery in the history of slaveries not even maybe, absolutely the worst slavery, outdoing what Egypt did. What Esau did was, Egypt was cruel, but the so-called white man, our oppressor, was so cruel that not only would he have us in his plantation and in his cotton fields and picking cotton, while we're picking cotton as a man, he's sexually assaulting our wives, getting them pregnant, killing us, buck breaking us, demasculating men, lynching us, castrating us. And we will, if you try to escape and they caught you, they put a yoke of iron around your neck, and the instrument would have prongs on the tip, so that if you tried to run, you would catch on a branch. They would send dogs on you. You understand? And that's just during slavery, and that's just Judah. They did it to all the tribes. The Spaniards and the conquistadors with the Hispanics and natives. It's some gruesome stories. Um, Countless accounts of how the Spaniards would sick dogs on children, on little Hispanic, so-called Hispanic children, and rip them to shreds. You understand? If we didn't meet the quota, or even if we did meet the quota of gold mining that they required us to do. Years and years of that. Millions of us dying. The so-called white man spreading intentionally spreading smallpox among the traded goods to the so-called Native American, the Gadite, the Reubenite, the Seminole Indian, and and infecting us and killing us through disease warfare. After lying in our faces and breaking every treaty that he made with us, killing off all the buffalo, forcing us on reservations, taking our children from us, indoctrinating our children, so on and so forth. Just all out white supremacy, from going back to the Greeks and Antiochus and Hellenization and colonization and assimilation. We have been oppressed in this land, and you will be a damn idiot to think that we're not. Just because you got a bachelor's degree, or you making a decent amount of money here in this goddamn your college degree. It means nothing to the extent, or to like that's gonna fix black people and Hispanic people. God is gonna destroy America. That's the truth. There's nothing wrong with going to school. There's nothing wrong with making money. There's nothing wrong with that. But this place is going up in flames. And if you trust in this place, if you trust in this empire, you will fall with it. You will fall with it. It's not a guess that it might happen. It's going to happen. I don't know if where you've been. I don't know if you've been under a rock, but the prophecies of the Bible and the buildup to the return of Christ is very imminent. It's very near. You understand? So, um, let's go to Acts 1:6. There's something that the disciples asked Christ when he returned after he was resurrected and rose from the dead and dwelt among them for a season. The disciples asked him a very specific question. Acts 1:6. When they therefore were come together, they asked of him, saying, Lord, wilt thou at this time restore again the kingdom to Israel? Why? Because the disciples knew not only did the prophecies prophesy that there will be a Christ, and Yahushua happens to be that Christ because of the prophecies he fulfilled, Isaiah 53, so on and so forth, but they also knew that the children of Israel were to be restored. And they thought that it would be then, but it wasn't going to be then because much more has to happen first. You see? But nonetheless, reading that, you should know a few things. One, the kingdom is for Israel. Two, a kingdom is coming for Israel. You see? Let's go to Second Ezra 6 and 9. Second Ezra 6 and 9. It reads, "For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth." Who is in power today? Esau. He's the end of a age. His regime, his reign is coming to an end. It's over. It's over. Your dollar is worth nothing. Your infrastructure is trash. Your food is trash. The air is trash. Animals are going extinct. You're unaliving babies in these Planned Parenthood facilities every day. Man on man marriage is rampant. Woman on woman marriage is rampant. This land is full of sexual deviants and drug addicts. And the Most High is aware of it all. The Most High is aware of it all. Not only is he aware of the oppression of his people and aware of the oppressor and how he strategically finds ways to oppress you, he sees the wickedness going on in this empire. He sees it. The angels are reporting it. The angels are reporting what's going on. You see? And it's the sins of this place have reached into the heavens, and the Most High is having councils, and he's going to do away with this place. And he's going to do away with you too. If you're an evil person, if you're a sinner, he's going to do away with you too. You understand? But 2 Ezra 6 and 9 again, "For Esau is the beginning of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth." A new reign, a switch in power. You see? Black people, Hispanic people, and Native American people, the ones loyal to Yahweh Shai and the Most High, will reign. The 144,000 will be the governing body of the kingdom of heaven under Yahweh Shai. That is going to happen. The Bible prophesied through Daniel and various prophets, namely Daniel, that this empire will rise and fall, Babylon. Babylon will rise and fall. The Persians and the Medes will rise and fall. The Greeks will rise and fall. Rome will rise and fall. NATO, EU will rise. America will rise, and they all will fall. Just like all of those things were prophesied to happen and happened, what makes you think that this is not going to happen? It's going to happen. Whether you like it, accept it, believe it or not. Who gives a damn what you accept? The God of the Bible is the authority of the earth. And every knee will bow, everyone will submit to the authority of the Most High, Yahweh Shai, whether you like it or not. So if you're a Black, Hispanic, or Native American Indian, it will behoove you to get in order, to get in line, or fall with this place. But as for me and my brothers, we want to rule. We want absolute power. And we're going to talk about what it will be like to be in power. Now, I'm going to share some of my imagination of what it will be like based on scriptures we already have. But the Bible says this. Let's go to Isaiah 64. Isaiah 64. and 4. For since the beginning of the world, men have not heard, nor perceived by the ear, neither hath the eye seen, O power, beside thee, what he hath prepared for him that waiteth for him. So, if you're someone that waits for the Most High, keeps his law, statutes, commandments, and follows the teachings of Yahushua that we find in the New Testament, the things coming for you, brother, are unimaginable. The amount of power you will be in, if you are of the 144,000, if you are of the number of men who Christ crowns, the power you will receive, you can't even fathom it right now. The material your garments will be made of it's unimaginable. The jewels and diadems and the precious stones, the amount of it, that reward for your loyalty is unimaginable. However, the Bible does give us a little bit of how it will be. It does do that. It does do that. Paul said, let us labor to enter into that rest. You understand? Micah said, be in pain and labor to bring forth like a woman in travail. You understand? Let's go to Jeremiah. Let's go to Jeremiah 30. We're going to stay in this chapter for a few scriptures. It's like it. Excuse me. Jeremiah 30 and 3. For lo, the days come, not the days might come, not the days could come, the days come. Saith the Lord, that I will bring again the captivity of my people Israel and Judah, saith the Lord, and will cause them to return to the land that I gave to their fathers, and they shall possess it. You see that? The time is coming where the Most High is going to deliver us from this evil empire, and wherever the children of Israel are scattered, and he's going to bring us home. And we're not going to go into slavery anymore. This is our last captivity. This is it. This is it. No more depending on the oppressor. No more being in line at the county building, applying for food stamps and Medicaid and health care, and no more relying on this devil's system and his society and the way he operates things, which is insane. Let's go to Jeremiah 30 and 10. Therefore, fear thou not, O my servant Jacob, saith the Lord. All throughout the Bible, Jacob, 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 Israel, Zion, Zion, Jeshurun, Israel, 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 house of Jacob, my people, all throughout the Bible. Neither be dismayed, O Israel, for lo, I will save thee from afar. Not I might save thee, I will save thee from afar, and thy seed from the land of their captivity. We're in a captivity. And Jacob shall return and shall be in rest and quiet and be quiet, and none shall make him afraid. You're not going to have to deal with police harassing you. You're not going to have to deal with your landlord raising your rent every other month. You're not going to have to deal with this man's credit system. You're going to be free from oppression. You're going to be free. You're going to be able to breathe fresh air. I could just close my eyes and imagine. That's the beauty of it. It's beauty. It's an amazing thing. Um, being in rest and none making us afraid. How many times have you turned on the news and a young brother is gunned down? Let's not even deal with the police, by one another. The hatred we have for each other as blacks and Hispanics and Native Americans is insane. It's crazy. It's the effect of white supremacy. It's just a fact. It's just a fact. He encourages it, he promotes it, and we do it. We won't have to deal with that in the kingdom of heaven. I want to jump down to verse 16, Jeremiah 30 and 16. Therefore, all they that devour thee shall be devoured, all thine adversaries, every one of them shall go into captivity. And they that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. For I will restore health unto thee, and I will heal thee of thy wounds, saith the Lord. Because they, the other nations, called thee an outcast, saying, This is Zion, whom no man seeketh after. They think the Lord forgot about us. That's why they do the evil things and cruel things that they do. They think they'll receive no punishment for it. I couldn't be any farther from the truth. But as we see here, that all those that devour us will be devoured. Who devours us? It's not just the white man. Nope. It's not just the white man. It's the Asians. It's the African. It's the Arab. The Japanese. The Filipino. All the other nations. The Persians. The Iranians. So-called Jew. Caucasians. You oppress God's people. You oppress God's people. You have devoured God's people. You have gathered together. You have made a league amongst yourself and have made it your sole mission to oppress blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Simple. You've done it and you do it. Namely our oppressor, Esau. But you other nations are not free from devouring us. You've devoured us for a long time. For a long time. But now your time is coming to an end. And now we are going to rule over you, and you will be our captives. We will possess you. You will be our handmaids. You will be our servants. You see brothers in videos on the street corners, and you see the oppressor kissing our boots. Yeah. And you see the scripture that we read. Let's go to that scripture. It's Isaiah 49 and 23. It reads, And kings shall be thy nursing fathers, and their queens thy nursing mothers. They shall bow down to thee with their face toward the earth, and lick up the dust of thy feet. And thou shalt know that I am the Lord, for they shall not be ashamed that wait for me. You see that? The people who are in power today, your Donald Trumps, that's low level. Your Queen of England, your popes, and all the people that rule, the other nations that rule, they're going to be, them and their descendants and their people will be our slaves, like we were theirs. I just read it. They're going to nurse our children. Now, we're going to talk a little bit about, remember I said, we're going to talk about my imagination a little bit based on what the scriptures is giving us. It's all in alignment in accordance to what the Bible has given us. And I'm helping you get an idea of how it will be, because it will be. You see that? Let's go to Revelation 13:9. Of course, I'll just read it and then I'll read another scripture. But you see the pattern of the children of Israel going to rule over their oppressors. The children of Israel will have them, will have rulership of their oppressors, those who oppress them. The children of Israel will have them captives who had them captive. You see that pattern. That hasn't happened yet. It's going to happen though. Revelation 13:9. If any man have an ear, let him hear. This is Bedrock UPK 101. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. Remember the Most High said, he will not be ashamed that waiteth for me. I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait. I don't know about you. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. Let's go to Revelation 2 and 26. And he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations. And he shall rule them with a rod of iron. As the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I received of my Father. You are looking at those brothers you see on the corner under the I.S.U.P.K banner. Those brothers are, if you were other nation, those are your future slave masters. Those are your future lords. Those are the future rulers of the earth, without a shadow of a doubt. These men are going to rule under Christ. These men are going to rule the earth in righteousness, in accordance to God's law, which is why I will prosper and never fail. And we will never go into captivity. And you will never devise a plan to there's not going to be like how we revolted against you and certain plantations. There's not going to be none of that. You can get that out your mind right now. There's not going to be a Edomite slave rebellion, mass slay, and they unalive some of us, and it's a one courageous Edomite like Nat Turner. No. You're going to be in absolute submission. You're going to be subjugated, and your life is going to be about pleasing me as your master. See, all of these things are going to be big ups to Yahushua for going through, for having the courage for what he went through and going through with it. He gets all, under the Most High, he gets all the honor and glory. Worthy is the Lamb that was slain to receive power and honor and glory, as is written in Revelation, the 4th chapter and 5th chapter. Big ups to Yahushua Mashiach. But he's setting up men under him who are going to rule the 144,000. And Most High willing, I'm one of them. Most High willing. Let's just say the brothers who are going to have their own plantations. You're going to have the plantation of Gadalhar, Captain Gadalhar, right? Who will be in power. You see? He's gonna have his own plantation. And then and he's gonna deal with his servants as he sees fit in accordance to the law. Because we're not gonna be like how they were with us. We're not gonna assault your women sexually. We're not gonna sleep with your children like you did with us. We're not gonna castrate you. We're not gonna um, do things outside of what God permits us in the law to do. You see, we're not gonna cut your head off for looking at me sideways. That's not righteous. However, if I find out that you slept with another man's wife amongst your own, because you will be subject to the laws of God, like we're subject to your laws today, there's a penalty for that. And my friend, you're not covered by the by Christ. So if I get here in a one of my top Edomite slaves run to me, I don't want Joe. Uh, there's rumors that Joe had sex with Dan's wife. I'm gonna call a council and I'm gonna hear it out. I'm gonna hear it out. I'm gonna gather the evidence. I'm gonna look at the evidence. And if it's true that you slept with this man's wife, I'm gonna read it out of the law. I'm gonna go to Leviticus 20 and 10, and I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna go to Exodus the 20th chapter, and I'm gonna read it. And if you violated that law, we're also gonna read the punishment for violating that law. That's gonna be our justice system, and that's gonna put fear on everyone around, because that will you go have you gonna have heathens breaking the law. But as time goes on, they're gonna learn not to break that law, because they're gonna see the punishments for breaking our rules. And the earth will the reign of the Israelites will be predicated on the laws of God. You're not gonna be able to sleep with a man's wife. You're not gonna be able to be, you know, well, saying Edomite is gonna sleep with another man's wife, that's kind of really low level, because this man is a sexual deviant. Let me find out that you're trying to deal with another man as a man, or you're trying to deal with an animal. We're going to go over the punishments for that, and you're going to be punished as the law requires you to be punished. You see? Also, let's go to Psalms. I got more for you too. Psalms 149. So the Bible says that America's going to be destroyed, bombs are going to drop, but there will be a few uh of these upper these elites. I talked about the president. That's why I say he's low level. We're talking about these elite banking families, the Gettys, the Rothschilds, you know um the Rockefellers, right? These are elite banking families who have insurance claims on wars. Those people, they're going to escape. They're going to escape World War III. They're going to escape being destroyed in the war, to the purpose of being preserved to be a slave. If you haven't watched Planet of the Apes, go watch that. The first one, the original one with Charlton Heston, go watch that. That's gonna be them. We're gonna be how how they the apes. Why was the devil? How they had them in cages and chains on their neck. That's biblical. Say it's not. This is Psalms 149. And 5. Let the saints be joyful in glory, and let them sing aloud upon their beds. Let the high praises of God be in their mouth, and a two-edged sword in their hand, to execute vengeance upon the heathen, and punishments upon the people, to bind their kings with chains, and their nobles with fetters of iron, to execute upon them the judgment written. This honor have all his saints. Barakatah Yahweh, why Yahweh Shai. You see that? So you think you're gonna survive the nuclear blast, and you're gonna be in your bunker busters, and then next thing you know, you're gonna hear swords or whatever weapons the Lord is gonna allow us to have to kick down the doors of your bunkers, and we're gonna bind you hand and foot with thick, rusty chains and proceed from there. And you and your descendants for a long time will be our slaves. You see? And you're going to work our fields. You're going to pick our cotton. You're going to pick our strawberries. It's all the other nations. It's not just the so-called white man, the Asian. The Asian man ain't going to own corner stores. You're going to come to our corner stores, and I'm going to watch you. I'm going to watch you. I'm going to tell you, hurry up and buy. You understand? I'm going to make you feel uncomfortable. You understand? Because you did it to us. You understand? We're gonna look at you like, oh, you ain't steal, right? You sure you know stealing is a sin? You wouldn't do that. No, no, no. Me no steal. Me no steal. Muchy money, muchy money. That's Moab. Much power, right? So that's gonna be reality. Now you are going to. Your life is going to be centered around serving us. You're going to love us because even though we're going to work you day and night, you will have the Sabbath off. You will have the Sabbath off. You're going to be working in that field, and you're going to see it's going to be so-called, I'm saying it today in today's time. We're not going to say Friday in the kingdom of heaven, but you're going to see that sun going down or getting ready to go down, uh, you know, right before the Sabbath, and you'll be like, oh, man, most high in Christ, the Sabbath. Thank God for the Sabbath. Hilarious. You're going to be happy. You're going to rest, right? You're going to go home to your shack. Really, really, you Edomites, boy, I got something planned for you. You better hope and pray I don't be one of your rulers. But you're gonna be happy. But then just know, as that Sabbath is about to end, I'm gonna walk around like my brother run from Texas, cracking the whip. Getting ready. You just gonna hear it. He's gonna hear it as the sun is going down and the Sabbath is about to be over. You be like, damn, I gotta wait a whole nother week. Right? But you're gonna abide by our law. So yes, you will have the Sabbath day off because that's in our law. So we're not gonna be cruel like you. We're not gonna be cruel like you. We're not gonna, you know, we're gonna punish you according to the law. We're not just gonna torture you and do the evil things you did to us. But we will rule over you as God's law permits. And we will punish you in accordance to God's law and what God's law permits. And that's why we will be a successful and prosperous nation. You see? But you're going to be in chains. You're going to be in that hot sun It's gonna be cool in my area. You're gonna be building our walls. Matter of fact, let's go to Isaiah. It's like it. Isaiah 60 and 12. Or 11. Or 10. Lee. 9. I could go all day. I'm gonna start at 9. Surely the isles wait for me, and the ships of Tarshish first, to bring thy sons from far. Isaiah 69. Their silver and their gold with them, unto the name of the Lord thy God, and to the Holy One of Israel, because he hath glorified thee. And the sons of strangers shall build. Remember the strangers in Isaiah 14 and 1 through 3? And the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls, and their kings shall minister unto thee, meaning they will serve us. They're not going to teach us anything, they're going to serve us. For in my wrath I smote thee, but in my favor have I had mercy on thee. Therefore thy gates shall be open continually, they shall not be shut day nor night, that men may bring unto thee the forces of the Gentiles, all your goods, which is really ours, that you stole from us, and the things that you have, that their kings may be brought. For the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish. Yea, those nations shall be utterly wasted. It's going to be a crime to not serve us. It's going to be a crime to not pay tribute. Even after your, Esau is going to be done away with after a certain amount of time. They're going to die off. How? We have soon to see that, the Most High may lower their men's sperm count and just die off slowly. But the other nations will be allotted their own land, and they'll still be subjugated to us, right? But they will have to pay tribute. They'll still have to abide by the laws. See? But as you're building our walls, as the forces of the Gentiles are coming in, our gates being open continually, as you bring in all the spices, all the cumin, all the gold, all the diamonds, all the rubies, all the precious jewels, all of it, you will be, it will be your life's goal and priority to serve us. And if you don't, you will perish. You're going to be in that hot sun, plucking on onions and doing everything, tending to the flock, tending to the flocks, the herds of cattle, making sure, you know, like me, I want a huge yard, Lord allow, a huge green yard, and I don't want one blade of grass higher than other. And and Esau is gonna be over that. This is my plantation. Esau's gonna be over making sure not one blade of grass is higher than other. And I want all my plants and everything real nice. Real nice. And I'm not giving you a lawnmower. You might get nail clippers to do it. And you better do it right. It's like, that's my imagination. I'm just being facetious. But you will be given the proper tools to do so, because I want the job done right. And you better get it right. You understand? And you will eat. You will eat. I will provide shelter. I will provide food. Because I need you to be able to work and build the kingdom, build roads, build infrastructure, build buildings. You're going to have to, be strong enough to do that. So I'm going to feed you, I'm not going to say it's going to be what I'm going to be eating. Lord allow, brothers in the kingdom of heaven, we're going to be eating, we're going to be in peace. The grill going to be on all the time in the kingdom. You understand? So it's so many levels to understanding how this picture you see on your screen, everything we went through and go through as a people, Those loyal to Yahweh Shai and the Most High have a lot to look forward to. We're no longer going to be slaves. We're no longer going to be under this beast and this devil, this animal, but we're going to be in peace and safety, and we're not going to have to worry about bills. We're not going to have to worry about credit scores and health ailments and cancer, and we're going to have new bodies. We're going to be perfect as far as health, because we're not going to be eating this garbage food that we eat, this cheap air we breathe, this polluted air that we breathe. We're not going to have to render unto Caesar what Caesar's anymore. Caesar's going to be in my field picking cotton. And Moab going to be in them sweatshops making me, glorious apparel. You understand? That's gonna be the kingdom of heaven and ruling and having children, your children playing, your wives doing whatever they want to do according to righteousness, and it's just gonna be peace. But the only way to attain that, if you're a man, is to put in the work, is to go to camp, is to teach, is to be a priest. Because everybody's not gonna be a part of 144,000. You're gonna have second class citizens. They're gonna be in peace. Not every Israelite is going to uh, be as powerful as the next. The 144,000 are going to be the governing body. Then you're going to have citizens. Now, these citizens are going to be happy as hell because they're not in slavery no more. And they know that they're children of Israel and everybody's, but there's levels to it. As for me, I want all the power. I want to be one of the 144,000. I want to be one of the 12,000 of the tribe of Gad that rule as a straight righteous king and priest of God. And you should aspire to do the same. That is the future. And that's what we have to look forward to. We have to look forward. We're witnessing the downfall of our enemies. We see that they're going into war. We see that tensions are rising. We know all these things are coming to pass. Christ, all of these things are leading up to the return of Christ. Yahweh Shai is going to crack that sky. Blacks and Hispanics and Native Americans who are loyal to Christ are going to be delivered. We're going to spend some time in the wilderness. Christ is going to instruct us what to do. And we're going to fulfill it. And we're going to go build the kingdom. And we're going to go gather slaves. We're going to instruct the slaves. We're going to, that's meat. Just how the Most High gave Yahweh Shai and the angels charge, and Yahweh Shai led the charge, Yahweh Shai going to lead the charge again. And Yahweh Shai is going to instruct us on what to do, and we're going to do it. We're going to build his kingdom because it's his kingdom. It's all to the glory of the Most High. But Yahweh Shai is going to sit on the throne of his father David, and he's going to be the King of kings. And we're going to be the kings he's king of. You understand? And that's going to happen. For the vision is written plain upon tables, so that at the end it shall speak. It shall not tarry. It's going to happen.